half-toned in with another quick tip, and I just wanted to show you how to set up your Photoshop file so that you can print separation straight from Photoshop to your film printer. So here in my case I'm using AccuRip, and I have a RGB file with the artwork here on the layer. I've created a separation. I've made it a spot color. It's 100% solid. The content, when you look at the data here under K, that is 100% solid. So I'm not going to have any halftones in here. Doesn't matter because I do have AccuRip. I can print halftones if I want. But so the difference here is, so a lot of people think, okay, they've created a separation in channels and they've used some auto separations and done things differently, and they've had the RGB files and they needed the RGBs. Well, it gets very confusing when you try to print to your film printer in a different method. Some separation provider services will send you files that are just grayscale, spot color, channel separations like you have right here. So in this case, if I wanted to print directly to film, I go to Command P, Control P, and set up my document size, which you'll notice a few things here. I have to change my printer setup to AccuRip, so I make sure I'm using the right printer. And the page size, the document size, is going to be custom. And so this is like 6.5 wide, 6 point, I believe it is. And I'll change that name quickly. I have it set to new, click save, so it snaps into the correct shape. This is so that your film, your small sized film, because I try to make use of my smaller sizes, when I cut up a piece and I've got a lot left over out of a 13 by 19, and so I'll use custom sizes, and this is just for a mask. And so you see it snaps into place, and that is so that my print actually lands in the correct location, so that's important. And the other factor is, you see right now a lot of people think, okay, go to print. You don't need any crop marks. I put my own in there and all my information, because we like it a little bit bigger, and bigger crop marks from using. We don't use the standard or default crop marks from Photoshop. So the color handling, this is the doodad here. You see it's in RGB, and the thing about AccuRip and the way you print straight from Photoshop is you cannot have RGBs in there, or the CMYKs, or a shirt color that is a background and it doesn't print. So maybe you made it just a mask alpha channel, but you filled it black shirt. So you can't have that in there either. You just need the separation in here in the file, because you need to switch it to separations. Well, separations is grayed out right now. So what I'll do is I will delete my RGBs, and that's the only thing in here that I have. Let me show you one other thing. You look under image mode, and it's an RGB file, right? That's the file mode. When you delete those, and all you have is your one color spot, if you look under image mode again, it jumps to multi-channel. And that's another thing, another file format that confuses people. When they have a multi-channel, they try and place it into Illustrator, and Illustrator doesn't, or maybe even Corel, whatever you're going to output to film from. If you got 6 or 8 colors in there and it's a multi-channel file, Illustrator is not going to recognize the multi-channel format. So if that was the case, there's other methods to save your multi-channel file in so that your vector programs do recognize it, like EPS or DCS2, or you can save it straight as a Photoshop file, but I'm going down the rabbit hole here. Basically, this is ready to print now because I've deleted the RGBs and all I have is that one color in there. So I go back to print and you see under color handling, oh, I have separations available now. So I change it to separations, voila, ready to print, and I print the film. And the nice thing about this is I can print the film. If I've got 8 colors, I just show all 8 eyeballs, and that's telling the printer that you want to print all one right after the other. So I don't have to sit there and send each one right after the other. And they can be stacked, and so it becomes very efficient to do it that way. Also, my resolution, if you look at image size, you'll see that my resolution is at 600 or above. The 8.75, that's just going to get kicked out. It's extra data, so you don't need a 1,000 PPI file or anything. You just need 600, and the reason for that is sharper, crisper, cleaner edges. See, even this is like a little bit of gray data here that I really don't need. I'm printing solid. So what I do is I'll adjust levels and burn that out so that there is nothing but solid in there if I'm printing a vector looking artwork. Because what happens is this little gray area here it'll try to translate as halftone, and it's such a small edge along here, you'll get like solid couple dots, solid couple dots, and that just does not look sharp and smooth. So it looks that's where you get the choppy, chunky looking junk edges on the outside of your what should look like vector artwork. My resolution also is tight for my registration marks, and you see those are very thin, so that, I mean, it's not necessary in this case, it's only one color, but it's thin registration marks are very good for multicolor registration. You don't want a fat registration on there, because the fatter it is, you may as well be lining up to the artwork itself and then using no registration marks, because you know, how are you seeing a 128th of an inch shift to the left if your registration is fatter than 128th of an inch? It's just doesn't make sense. So that's it in a nutshell as far as printing straight from Photoshop. Pretty easy. Thanks.